Okay. So yesterday we studied about VDF, which was VHF Direction Finder. Correct? Today we are going to study about ADF, which is Automatic Direction Finder. Direction Finder. Now I told you that our topic today is NDB, right? So what is the difference? Like, what is ADF and what is NDB? On ground, remember for VDF we had some Adcock aerial yesterday.
Advocate, yes.
So that was on ground. Similarly, today, instead of Adcock aerial, we have an NDB which is situated on ground. So it is a ground-based navigation. And in VDF, we had seen that for aircrafts, like how do we see in our cockpit is through a CRT display, right? Today, we are going to see an ADF fitted in our aircraft. ADF is an aircraft based, like it is fixed in the aircraft, automatic direction finder. Now, what does ADF do? As the name suggests, that it is an automatic direction finder. That means it keeps rotating inside the aircraft to gain the signals from somewhere. It just wants to collect signals. Where is the nearest station from where I can collect the information, right? So if I ask, what is the ground-based navigate for NDB, like for ADF and NDB? Then NDB is the ground-based navigate and ADF is the aircraft-based. That means it is fitted in the aircraft, right?
Yes.
For VDF, what was the frequency used yesterday? For VDF, it was
137 frequency.
megahertz, right? Today, since we are studying for NDB, the frequency which is used in NDB is 1902 to 1750 kilohertz, right? This frequency you have to remember. We have to remember up the frequencies about the principles, and in the nearby coming ground dates, we will also remember the polar diagram starting from NDB. Polar diagram we will
Yes.
see later. Now, 190 to 1750 kilohertz, right? Can I say that it is in the upper LF band and this is the lower MF band? Why? What was the LF band? LF band was 30 to 300 kilohertz and MF band was 300 to 3000 kilohertz. So it is on the upper side of LF band but on the lower side of MF band.
MF.
So this is also a question which is asked, that the frequency band for NDB is in the upper LF, lower MF, or the LF and MF band, between the LF and MF band, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Remember we had studied about the dipole antenna and the Marconi antenna.
Yes.
What was the difference between dipole and Marconi aerial?
The length of the antenna.
Yes, the length of the antenna. For dipole it was lambda by 2.
Lambda by 4.
Yes. For Marconi it was lambda by 4. Let us try to see, if I am putting an NDB on ground, what should I keep my height? 1900 to 1750 kilohertz. Let us assume a middle value. For example, let's say we are talking about 1000 kilohertz, right? We are taking a value from between them. Let for our simplification, we are just saying 1000 kilohertz. If I'm using this frequency, can you tell me what is the wavelength? What is the lambda value? 3 into 10 raised to power 8 divided by
Divided by
1000 times power 3. Am I correct?
yes.
Okay. So the wavelength will come out to be 300 meters. 336 minus 6, that is 300 meters, right? Okay. So an approximate wavelength when we took somewhere in between was 300 meters. If I use the dipole aerial and if I use the Marconi aerial, what is the length of antenna which I should use for dipole and for Marconi?
Lambda by 2
Yes,
and lambda by 4.
that is 150, 300 by 2,
150. Yeah.
and for
75
Marconi, 75
meters.
meters. Correct. Do you think it is easy to install a 150 meters long building, not building, long tower on ground? Quite challenging, right?
Yeah.
75 meters is as challenging as 150 meters, but still it is at least lesser than the 150 meters. And we have taken the upper sided value, that is 1000 kilohertz. If you take 1900, the length will be even less. So depending on the frequency you are using, the length of the Marconi area will be adjusted. Do you see how long is this NDB situated on ground? It looks quite long, right?
Yeah.
Yes, this antenna is very long. It can vary anywhere between 10 to 75 meters.
Okay.
All right. Now, NDBs are generally represented by two letters in general. For example, there is an NDB in Kanpur. So it will be represented like Kilo Alpha. And this is a representation of an NDB. This is how NDBs are shown. This is how the ADF looks like in the aircraft. This is about both of them we will study in the third or fourth session, since there are numericals based on this. So this is how the ADF looks like. The display on the aircraft looks like, not the ADF. So do you understand now that there will be a ground-based aid, which is NDB, which will send signals in all directions. There will be your aircraft, which has ADF fixed inside it, and there will be a signal transfer between both of them, and they can know the direction of each other, the bearings of each other, which we will see later. Like what is ADF and NDB used for? What does it give us? VDF gives us bearings, right? Simply bearings. And with the help of which aerial? With the help of Adcock aerial. NDB uses loop antenna. Instead of Adcock aerial, it uses loop aerial, loop antenna. We will see what loop aerial looks like. Loop antenna means there will be one loop, right? One, two, this. It forms a loop, right? See, one loop is formed. Loop aerial, this loop antenna is actually fixed on aircraft. Okay. This loop antenna is fixed on aircraft. Now, we will take two scenarios. One thing is, this is your loop aerial, and the waves are coming perpendicular to it, like this, hitting it like this, right? And the other scenario where the waves are coming parallel to it, like this. Do you understand what I'm trying to make?
Yes.
Let me clarify this. My phone. This is the loop. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, parallel means the waves are coming like this. Perpendicular means they are coming and hitting it like this. Correct?
Straight, yeah.
They are coming and hitting like this. So if two waves are coming and hitting one point this and the other point this, do you think there will be any phase difference between them? Both of them are coming in the same way, like this, and hitting at the same in the same manner. Will there be any difference? I'll tell you, there will be no difference. There will be no potential difference between them. Potential difference would have been generated if there was some difference between this point and this point. See, both of these waves are coming and hitting at the same points, at the same phase. So there will be no potential difference. There will be no current generated. Yes?
Yes.
The basic principles of potential difference and current. If there is no potential difference, there will be no current generated.
No.
Agree?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when the waves are coming parallel, that means this was my loop and the waves are coming like this. It entered this place in this direction, went up and exited at this point. Do you think in this case there might be chances of potential difference? See, entered in this way, but while exiting it went that way. This wave is coming parallel to the loop. Came at this point, exited at this point. Do you think that there will be any potential generated now? Yes. See? This much potential is generated now. There's a difference. So, can I say that when these waves are coming perpendicular, there is no signal received because there is no current generated? And when these waves are coming parallel, there is the maximum potential difference generated. Can I say this or not?
Yes.
Okay. So, we will make a generalized statement and say that when the waves are coming parallel, the loop produces maximum potential difference, correct? When coming parallel. Parallel to what? Parallel to the loop.
Parallel to the loop antenna.
Yes. Can I say the loop produces minimum potential difference when it is perpendicular direction of wave. Correct? So depending on what direction your loop is telling, how much potential difference is generated, your antenna will be able to tell the location of your NDB on the ground. Right? From here, we can conclude that what is the principle of NDB? What is the working principle of NDB? The principle is to find the bearings.
When it is parallel, it produces maximum potential difference.
Yes.
When it is perpendicular,
Zero. The minimum one.
minimum potential difference is attained. That's it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Will produce minimum potential difference when it is in the perpendicular direction to the wave. This loop keeps rotating in the aircraft. And depending on what kind of signals are received, how are the waves hitting on that loop, they tell the direction of that NDB. It keeps rotating, that's why its name is automatic direction finder.
Okay.
Right? Now, the principle of NDB is bearings by loop antenna or by loop theory. Because we are using a loop antenna to find the direction of our NDB. So it will give the bearings by the help of loop theory. Now, this ADF generally gives the direction towards the station. It always points towards the station. ADF will always point towards the station. Till now, we had seen that if you're finding the bearings, if you're finding the heading, you take the direction of true north and then go in the clockwise sense and find the direction, right? ADF helps us to tell the relative bearing. We had seen this in the general navigation. But since I told you that even if you don't remember it there, we are going to cover it again. Right? So ADF gives us relative bearing. And what is relative bearing? Relative bearing means you consider your nose of aircraft as 0 and then find the direction in the clockwise sense. That is known as the relative bearing. Whereas heading and normal bearings, you take the direction from the true north. True north is considered at 0 and then you take in the clockwise sense. That is known as heading and bearings. Like this is how you calculate the headings and bearings. But relative bearing is always considered taking your nose of aircraft as 0 and then going in the clockwise direction. So if you consider nose as 0 and find direction in clockwise sense, it is known as the relative bearing. right? Are you happy with this?
Yes, ma'am.
I just said that ADF gives us relative bearing, didn't I?
Yes, ma'am.
That is why ADF is also known as relative bearing indicator. ADF also known as RBI. RB is relative bearing and I is indicator. Relative bearing indicator. ADF is automatic direction finder. ADF gives us relative bearing. It works on the principle of loop antenna or loop theory. That means when the waves are perpendicular, they give minimum potential difference. When they are parallel, they give the maximum potential difference. ADF gives us RB, that is relative bearing. That's why it is also known as relative bearing indicator. The
Indicator.
first diagram we had seen, this one is the RBI. There are a lot of differentiations when we see ahead. This is an RBI with movable card. Right now we are discussing about relative bearing indicator RBI with a fixed card. So right now what I was talking about is this. I'll just give you a basic idea right now because we are not much needed to know it today. See, this direction is mentioned as north, right? And in RBI, it is considered that the nose of aircraft is like this. Then this will be your relative bearing, where your needle is pointing till that direction you go in the clockwise direction.
Clockwise sense.
This is your relative bearing. From the nose of aircraft, see, it is mentioned here that this is the nose of aircraft. From this nose of aircraft, you went in this direction, and in this direction there will be some NDB situated here. So in your cockpit, the ADF is indicating that okay, that side is your ADF. Sorry, that side is your NDB. If you go that direction, you will directly go towards the NDB. Right? Let us see some cases. Yes. Before going, remember that the NDB and ADF are using surface waves. VDF was using the line of sight waves. Right? The direct
Yes.
waves or the ground reflected waves. But the principle of NDB is based on the surface waves. VDF was using line of sight waves, LOS waves. Let us consider this is an NDB. This is your aircraft going in this direction. Correct? My question is, what will your ADF indicate? What will your RBI indicate? ADF or RBI? What we have studied from theory is that from the nose of aircraft, if I go towards the station, this is what my ADF will indicate. If you are going in this direction, looking in the cockpit, what will your instrument say? That which direction will you go to find your NDB? If you go in this direction, you will get your NDB. If you are going straight, the NDB is on your right, on the right side. See, going this direction. This is your left, this is your right. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So what will your instrument tell you? Your instrument will tell you where you should head in order to reach the NDB. So what will your instrument say? Just like this. Where will it show? That where should you go to find this NDB? On your right. If you go like this, if you go in this direction, you will reach the NDB. Let us see. This is an aircraft. This is your position right now. Correct? The nose of aircraft is this. Agree? Is this clockwise direction or is this clockwise direction?
Number 2.
Okay. From the nose of aircraft, in the clockwise sense, you go towards the NDB. This is your relative bearing. What is the approximate value? Almost. Correct? And when you are flying, your instrument will tell you something like this. That your station is on your right. If you want to go, then you have to go in this direction. Correct?
Yes.
Got it now? How does it indicate the direction?
Yes.
Good. We discussed about the clock positions, I guess. The clock positions. If you have to report your position with respect to the clocks, how do you say? I am sitting 12 o'clock to you in front of a screen. That means I am sitting straight ahead, right? If there is someone exactly behind you, you will say that that guy is on a 6 o'clock position to you. This is how a clock looks like. Forward it's 12. You are here. Back it's 6. On your right it's 3 o'clock. On your left it's 9 o'clock. Somewhere in between 1 o'clock. Somewhere in between 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock. This is how you tell your positions in clockwise senses, in clocks. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, there is a formula here which you have to remember. The formula is heading, which is given in magnetic, plus relative bearing will give you QDM. Can you remember this formula? If you add heading and relative bearing, you will get QDM. What is QDM? We studied it yesterday. DM. Studied the 4 Q codes yesterday, which were Q, TE, Q.
QT, QUJ, QDM,
Who was QT? True or magnetic?
True,
True bearing. Was it coming
True
towards
bearing,
you? Away?
away,
True bearing from the station. And what was JU
away.
doing? Yeah, away from the, just right. Away from the
Okay,
station,
okay,
away from the station.
okay,
Coming
okay.
towards the station, I'll write to. Going away from the station, I'll write from. QUJ, was he true or was he false? I mean, was he magnetic?
Magnetic. It's coming towards the station.
Who was judge? Was he true to you or was he faking to be your true friend? There were two true people with you, right? One was your QT and other was the judge.
Ja-
Judge was
Okay.
true to you. See?
Yeah,
See?
true.
Why
Okay.
will the judge lie to you? I mean, the judiciary people, why will they lie to you? If you have paid them nicely, why will they lie? Okay. So judge is always true to you.
True.
QT is running away from you, but judge is always coming to your home,
Coming to the station.
to the station. True bearing
To the
to
station.
the station.
Yes. Yes.
Next one. DR, doctor.
Doctor away from the station.
Yes.
Magnetic and away.
Magnetic bearing from the station. And DM,
And magnetic to the station.
magnetic to the station.
To the station. Yes.
QDR is also known as radials. This will be used when we are studying about VOR. Magnetic bearings away from the station, they are also known as radials. On what radial are you? The thing which we are always making, this stuff. In case of VOR, these all directions are known as radials because they are going away from the station, right? In all directions. Okay. What we need is QDM. Heading plus relative bearing would give you QDM. So what is QDM? Magnetic bearing towards the station. Right? That means if you add heading and relative bearing, it will tell you the direction where you should go in order to reach the station. In the same question, if I say that heading is 180 degree, can you tell me what is the QDM? What QDM should I follow in order to reach the station, to reach this NDB? Heading is given 180, which is magnetic, obviously. Relative bearing you found out, which was from the nose of aircraft towards the station, which was 90 degree, right? From the nose of station, you went in clockwise sense and it came out to be 90. And I asked you the value of QDM.
$70.
So the QDM was 270. Do I need to write magnetic here? No. Why QDM is already in the magnetic only. If it was not magnetic, it was written, it would have been true QUJ. Now I'll ask you some of the examples. Right? You just have to tell me the relative bearing. This formula we will use later. This is your station. This is you. This direction is 0, 5, 0. This is your aircraft. Aircraft is on a magnetic bearing of 050 from this station, which I have mentioned here, but it has a heading of 045 degrees. Can you tell me the relative bearing here? From the nose of aircraft in the clockwise sense till the time you reach the station. Heading is
In the
045.
clockwise direction.
Yes, heading is 045 and this, not a radial, this is a QDR. magnetic bearing from the station is 050. This angle is
5 degrees.
5 degrees. Okay. I asked you the relative bearing. You told me correct from the nose of aircraft. This is your nose, and now you want to go in a clockwise direction until and unless you reach your station. You will reach the station if you go in this direction. So the relative bearing, tell me the answer for relative bearing now.
$95 degrees.
No, not 95. This is 5 degree and this hole is this is 5 degrees and this is, what is this angle? This angle is 90. This angle is almost 120. This angle is almost 170. What is this angle?
180.
So this is 180. Why did you take so long in this? See, directly from this line to this line. This hole is 180 and this is 5 degree. So this as a whole will be 180 plus 5, right? So the relative bearing would have been
185 degrees.
185 degrees. Correct. This and this whole 180 plus 5. Now I'll ask you another example. Then we'll move forward. This is the station.